why would I want to arrest you?
Well, I don't want you to arrest me, but
Yeah,
I don't
want to arrest you and take you to custody.
the money.
You haven't. You can refund
I have paid the money.
You're not listening.
I have paid the money.
You're shutting your mind. You're not open-minded.
So
you're just
what,
tunnel vision
what are you,
on
what
your
are,
opinion.
What are you trying to tell me?
We'll let the police come, the British
We'll let
Transport
the British
Police.
Transport Police
We'll
come.
get your details.
Well, they will arrest. No, they will arrest me.
They'll get your details.
They will arrest me.
But you're not going to give them your details.
If they arrest me, then I will give them my details. I'm being denied exit from the station.
Right, have you purchased a ticket
Yes.
where you boarded the train?
I purchased the ticket and I can show evidence of that.
Right, have you printed that ticket
I wasn't
off?
able to get it printed, no.
Right, is there a reason why you were unable to get it printed
I was running
off?
for the train. I have to be in a really important meeting in Reading, and I had to run to get the train because it was going to cause me enormous problems if I didn't get that train and was delayed for that really important meeting in Reading.
Right.
And I thought, quite reasonably, that I've paid for a ticket.
Yeah.
I can prove I paid for a ticket. I can prove I've got the code for the ticket. And I literally, as I've said to these people, all I need to do is to go there to get that ticket and to show these people the ticket that I have purchased and paid for. I understand their reasoning. All I'm saying is I paid for a ticket, so my belief is that in law I can show I've had no intent to defraud anybody.
Yeah.
I haven't travelled this network trying to travel without a ticket, and I can evidence that. And so I did not intend to give these people my personal details. I don't believe they're empowered to take them, and I'm not going to give them to you. Should you, of course, arrest me, I will, of course, give you my personal details, and I will abide by the empowerment that you have. But I think, frankly, I can travel the country, I can go to Reading, I can go to Manchester, I can go all over the place, get a ticket, I can tap my phone on devices. It's only here in Liverpool that we seem to have this archaic system with these people who cause these problems for people who are just trying to pay for tickets and go about their daily business, minding their own business, which is all I'm trying to do.
Right, okay. Obviously, when you do purchase your ticket on the train line, you do have to tick to the terms and conditions that you have to print it off.
I don't know, nobody ever reads that stuff.
At this point, it's clear. Alex isn't refusing to pay, he's literally begging them to check his proof. But instead of logic, the staff choose confrontation. This is where a misunderstanding starts turning into an unnecessary standoff.
As you say, on this network here for Merseyrail, they do require you to have the said ticket printed off, ready for inspection at the gate or at the barriers.
What I would say is that, anybody can have a policy. Anybody can make a rule. Yeah? Doesn't mean it's a criminal offence, doesn't mean it's a civil offence. I don't believe I've committed an offence. I mean, they may think I've broken their procedures and policies, that's fine. I don't believe I've committed any offence because I've paid money for a ticket to travel and I can prove that.
Yeah,
so where is my offence?
No, but you have got your ticket, but you've not printed the said ticket off.
Where's my civil or criminal offence?
But you should have printed it off before you travelled.
You could say you've got to stand on... Sorry to interrupt.
No, it does say, obviously, on the train stations and on the trains, that you have to have your ticket ready to present to these guys. And if you have it on the phone, which is the actual ticket,
and I presented
yours
it.
isn't the actual ticket. Yours is proof to say you've purchased a ticket, but you've not yet you've not yet printed that said ticket
I see what you're saying. My point is that what's happened, you could have a rule on the terms and conditions on Merseyrail saying everybody on the train has to stand on one leg, and everybody would have to stand on one leg, and you could threaten people if they didn't stand on one leg.
Here's the real issue. The officers mixing up company policy with actual law. Failing to print a ticket isn't a criminal act. It's a company rule, not a legal offense. Yet, they're treating it like he's committed fraud.
It's not breaking the law if people don't do it. They're breaking your rules. And that's the difference I'm trying to get across to you.
So this is their bylaws that it is a ticket period, which we do have to have a said ticket to come onto the station, and for as soon as you board the train, you should have a ticket of travel, unless your train station is closed and then you've taken a picture to say it's closed. come to these guys and they will
Which
sell
it
you
often
a
is.
ticket.
It's often closed, it's often
and
nobody
that's the
there, and then
case.
it would be fine.
But you've purchased your ticket already, but unfortunately, because you haven't printed it off, you should have printed it off before you travelled.
So my point to you again is that I've looked at the bylaws, and I may be wrong, but I've read the bylaws, and my understanding of the bylaws is that they say if you break these bylaws, you may be taken to court.
Yeah.
And if you're taken to court, and it can be shown that there's an intent to defraud, you may be prosecuted. Now I can show there was no intent to defraud.
Okay.
So if we go to court, it's all going to be very annoying for me, very embarrassing for Mersey Rail, but I can show there was no intent to defraud. So I don't believe that I'm in any kind of situation where I've broken these bylaws.
So the train line tickets, as you said rightly, you have to print out the tickets. If it's not printed out, it's not valid to travel on the train.
I know this is what the lady said to me.
It's not valid on the train.
And what I'm saying is that
Can I just explain to you?
Yes.
What happened is sometimes people buy train line tickets.
Yes.
They don't print it. They do the journey. They complete the journey.
Yes.
What happens is they get refunded.
Well, that would be terrible.
They got refunded.
That would be terrible.
Okay, so some people does that.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not saying you do.
No.
Your intention to do that.
Specifically,
on these occasions.
Specifically, I asked these people to let me go just over there, to print the ticket. And they would see I'd printed the ticket, and they would know that it had been
their
paid.
understanding would be if they went here, you would have done the journey, and you got the refunded as well from the train line. Which some people does that.
This is where the logic collapses. The officer basically says, some people cheat, so maybe you will too. That's not how justice works. You can't arrest someone for what you imagine they might do. That's not law. That's paranoia.
You can deal with them as a civil matter, as you said.
Yes.
Yeah. You can give your details to them.
Well, I'm not going to do that.
And if you don't, then the police get involved.
Yep.
Police get involved.
As indeed
the criminal matter.
Yes.
Where it's dealt as a ticket fraud.
Yeah, and that's what we're going to do.
Yeah.
Because I'm not giving these people my details. Because I've paid for a ticket.
This is what's happening now.
There cannot be ticket fraud.
Okay.
Because I've paid for the ticket.
Well, that's no valid ticket.
There's no intention to defraud in law.
Well, we don't know because.
Well, I can prove it. I mean, I can show you the receipt and I can get it printed. There's no intention.
As I say, it's not valid.
Okay. Well, if we have
reliably informed, that's not a valid ticket. It's a reference number for a ticket.
Well, I've had all three of you inform me that.
You should have printed your ticket off before you travel.
So, can I just go and print the ticket off?
No, you should have done it before you travel.
Oh, I see. So
you can't travel without
So you're going to take me to court because you won't let me print a ticket. Okay, well, let's do it then. What do we do next?
Obviously, you need to provide your details to these people here. Can I just add, is there a reason why you don't want to?
Yeah, because I don't believe they're empowered to take them, and I don't believe I have to give them to them.
They do have the power to take your details.
No, they don't.
They do. They are accredited.
I don't believe that. I'm arrested. I will give my details to the arresting police officer when hearing the basis upon which I'm being arrested, because that will then be used in the court of law.
Right, at the moment, I do have a necessity because you're not failing to provide your details.
I will not provide my details until I'm arrested.
Yeah. Why would I want to arrest you?
Well, I don't want you to arrest me, but
I don't want to arrest you and take you to custody.
Yeah,
and
I really
you've
don't
got
want
a
that
meeting
either.
to get to.
I really don't want
I've still got things to do today, obviously.
I'm not going to be pressured into giving people my details. I have a right the right to privacy. I will not give people my details and they're pressuring me to do that. I don't believe you have a right to take my details until you arrest me. If you arrest me, if there's a basis for you to arrest me, and you arrest me.
Now, the officer insists inspectors have authority to demand personal details. But that's completely false. They can only ask if they believe someone is dodging a fare, which isn't the case here. This moment exposes how misinformation and authority often mix dangerously.
And you tell me why I'm being arrested, I will of course comply and I will of course give my details. That's
you
just
haven't
normal.
got the ticket.
I have
you
paid
have
for a ticket
but
and I
that's
can
just
print that
reference
ticket
number.
just over there.
Yes, but you should have printed the ticket before you travel.
And you're going to arrest me for that.
I am going to arrest you for failing to provide a valid ticket to travel, okay?
So you're going to arrest me for
my
failing
necessity
to,
is
sorry, to, for
my
failing
necessity
for failing to
provide a valid ticket for travel, which you don't have on your person. You have a reference number, so I will arrest you for the offence.
And you won't let me print that to show you that I have a ticket?
Because you've already passed the point where you could have printed the ticket
off. So you won't allow me to print the ticket?
Okay. Well, obviously when I've finished dealing with you then, yeah, you can go and print the ticket off,
Thank you
that's
very much.
fine. Okay, do you want to come to our office and we'll speak out the way and we'll take it from there?
Okay.
All right, do you want to follow this way? Thank you.
What just happened here is a perfect example of how a lack of common sense can destroy public trust in policing. Let's be clear, Alex Lennon paid for his ticket. He had proof of purchase, the booking code, and even stood beside a ticket machine ready to print it. The law requires that you pay your fare, not that you pre-print a piece of paper before boarding. What the officers enforced wasn't law. It was a corporate rule that holds no criminal weight. The British Transport Police officer admitted she knew Alex had paid. Yet, instead of resolving it with a quick check, she escalated it into an arrest. The so-called necessity for arrest, failure to provide details, only existed because Alex was being pressured unlawfully in the first place. He was right to refuse because, under the railway bylaws, ticket inspectors can only demand personal information if they reasonably suspect someone of deliberately avoiding payment. And that was never the case here. What makes this whole event even more ironic is that the resolution, printing the ticket, was what Alex suggested from the beginning. The officers wasted time, resources, and credibility to end up doing exactly what the man had been offering to do all along. This case highlights a deeper issue: how rigid, box-ticking policing replaces logic and fairness. When officers forget the principle of proportionality, using discretion to match the seriousness of the situation, innocent people get treated like criminals for no reason. It also raises questions about training. How can officers not know the difference between a criminal law and a company policy? When police begin enforcing private business rules as if they're statutes, the line between authority and overreach disappears. Alex's calm and reasoned behavior under pressure made this video so powerful. He never shouted, never resisted, and never acted aggressively. He simply stood on his legal rights and exposed the flaws in the system by staying calm. That's what real accountability looks like. In the end, no charges were filed because there was no case to begin with. The arrest wasn't about justice, it was about ego and control. And that's what audiences across the UK are reacting to. The frustration of seeing officers who enforce rules instead of applying reason. This isn't an anti-police message, it's a wake-up call. Real policing is about understanding context, using judgment, and protecting fairness, not enforcing meaningless technicalities. What happened here should remind every officer and every citizen that law enforcement's power comes from public trust. The moment they start prioritizing rules over reason, that trust begins to fade, because in the end, the law isn't about paperwork or procedures. It's about justice, and justice in this case was on Alex's side.